Final Four weekend has arrived. It's time. Job's not finished.
You are Locked On Wolfpack, your daily podcast on the NC State Wolfpack, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Wolfpack Nation? It's time to get locked in with Locked On. Thanks for making Locked On Wolfpack your first listen each and every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Happy Friday. As always, I'm Grayson Boone, joined by former Wolfpack defensive tackle Kenton Gibbs. The Final Four weekend has arrived. NC State is in the Final Four, ×2. This is still real. No matter how many times you've seen pictures, tweets, videos, logos, you name it, all of that is real. It's not a dream. We're in the Final Four. The women's team will be up first. They play tonight, Friday evening. They have the number 1 overall seed in South Carolina for their matchup. Men's team will play Purdue on Saturday night, 6:09 tip in Arizona. Both of our teams are underdogs, and that's right where we want to be.
Both of these teams are underdogs, and playing a Purdue team, they're a number 1 seed for a reason. Obviously, Zach Edey is about to be the 2-time National Player of the Year, but in the words of Glorilla, you got 99 problems, and the biggest one is him. Okay, that's something that you got to deal with in all seriousness. But this team is beatable. Let's be very honest about that. Let's be very clear about that. This team is not a bunch of gods amongst men that are flatly unstoppable. Yes, they have a backcourt that has one of their guards is a all-conference performer in terms of his ability to score and kind of control the pace. They're one of the best three-point shooting teams in America, of course, because teams collapse on Zach Edey. But again, like I said, they are beatable. And in the last game against Tennessee, everybody not named Zach Edey put on this type of performance. 3 of 15 from deep, 11 of 32 from the field. Purdue fans who are in here and looking for bulletin board material, I'll give it to you. If you make the other guys beat you, that's a better chance than letting the 7-4 monstrosity have his way down low.
Discussed on Wednesday that NC State needs to not shy away from Zach Edey at all. Go right at him. You have to find ways to get into his head, get him frustrated, and get him outside of his game. And in that same sense, you have to limit the rest of the supporting cast as much as you possibly can. You cannot let everyone else beat you.
Obviously, still be locked in on the other guys. Obviously, still know, okay, when the ball goes out of Edey's hands, where are the rotations? Where do we need to be going and all that type of stuff?
This goes hand in hand with what Coach Keats has been saying in all the pregame videos we've seen with one with Wolfpack, and he preaches, give them nothing. It doesn't matter who's on their team, what their accolades are, what that team is supposed to be. We are going to give them nothing. We are going to make it tough for them to do anything that they want to do all night long. And that has to remain constant in this matchup with Purdue. Purdue is known for losing games they are supposed to win in the tournament. They are legitimately known for doing that. If you take it to them and you are the aggressor, you can be yet another team on this list that they failed to beat when it mattered.
You're not stuck on the court with Zach Edey. Zach Edey is stuck on the court with you. You're not stuck on the court with Braden Smith. Braden Smith is stuck on the court with you, DJ Horn, with you, Casey Marcel, with you, Jaden Taylor, with you, Michael O'Connell. They're stuck with you, Mo Diarra, with you, Ben Middlebrooks. He puts on his shoes and has to tie them up just like everybody else. So, I'm sure if you cut the young man, he'd bleed red just like everybody else. And so, show him, hey, you stuck on this court with me, big dog.
Something that NC State has thrived on in this postseason is their physicality. You have to be more physical than Purdue. And I believe that we can be. They have to figure out how to beat you. Make them feel that. Come out of the gate, hit them in the mouth, and then don't stop swinging. Eventually, if you get in their head, you get them rattled, they will fall. We've seen it happen before. This moment is not too big for NC State. The lights are not too bright for NC State. This team and everything that they've accomplished in this postseason, they are built to challenge Purdue in a game like this one.
This is a team that has been no stranger to coming out fast and landing some haymakers right away.
I can't believe I'm going to reference a quote from Roy Williams, of all people, but the way he talked about Michael Jordan is that he was the only player that could turn it on and off, and he never turned it off. NC State needs to take that mentality with their physicality. They have the choice if they want to come out here and take it to Purdue. Don't turn it off. Your physicality has won you 9 basketball games in a row. You keep it turned on, it will win you 10. And now switching gears over to the women's side, they do play tonight, Friday night. Think of South Carolina like 5 Slamma Jamma, essentially. They are the best team in the country. They have everything that you would want in a successful basketball team. They're undefeated. They're 36-0. They're an 11.5-point favorite, and NC State can beat them. Hear me when I tell you this. NC State has what they need to defeat South Carolina. They have explosive guard play. They have a solid front court. A really cool thing about the women's Final Four here, the 3 other teams, South Carolina, Iowa, and UConn, these are 3 teams that NC State has beaten in the last 3 years. They beat South Carolina at South Carolina just 3 years ago. Circumstances and players change, yes, but they went down to their house and beat them. They beat Iowa on the road last year. They went up to Iowa and beat Caitlin Clark, the best player in perhaps college basketball history. And then UConn. We beat UConn this year. Frankly, dominated UConn. We imposed our will on UConn. This game against South Carolina and this Final Four can be won for NC State, but they too have to lock in.
As the old saying goes, and I can't remember who coined it because so many different teams have used it at this point, all we got is all we need.
Yes.
This is a team. This NC State team has been slept on and disrespected from the very beginning. Both of our teams have. My mother always had a saying, whenever there was a fight coming up or whenever there was like a ruckus going on or whatever the case may be, I was always the one that was like, oh, let's go see what's going on. Let's go, stop it, whatever the case may be. And I'll be ready to run outside and get rowdy, get right into it. And my mom would say, where your fool self going? And I'd say, nah, Ma, I ain't scared. And my mom would always say, you ain't got to be scared to catch a behind whooping. Okay? These teams, no team left in the Final Four may fear NC State. They do not need to be afraid to catch a behind whooping. River Baldwin and Mimi Collins, nobody is giving y'all a shot. Nobody is saying y'all have a shot against that front court. I don't know about y'all. I like it that way.
Yes.
In the words of Kendrick Lamar, I love it when you count me out. I love it. I love it when you count me out because when you come back from that and do that, man, 76% of the bets as well as 74% of the money in NC State Purdue being placed on the red and white of NC State. Both of these teams are America's team. It's time to go win something. It's time to go do something special. It's time to go legend and get your names immortalized forever. When there was some nets being cut down, when there was confetti raining down, all the confetti was red and white. The confetti in Cleveland, the confetti in Phoenix, all they saw was red and white ascending from those rafters.
It's time. We have 2 of America's teams, and neither one of them came this far to only come this far. The job is not finished, and we can make history this weekend for NC State. The lights are not too bright. The stage is not too big. We are ready for this moment. NC State deserves this moment, and it is time to go seize it. We're ready for this weekend. Women play Friday night against South Carolina. Men play Saturday night against Purdue. We're ready. Go Pack. Go America. Let's get this thing done. Coming up next, NC State men's basketball just picked up a big transfer portal commit. This is what happens when the nation has eyes on you. We're discussing this after a quick word from our sponsors. Our first sponsor of the day is Robinhood. Did you know that even if you have a 401k for retirement, you can still have an IRA? Robinhood has the only IRA that gives you a 3% boost on every dollar you contribute when you subscribe to Robinhood Gold. But get this, now, all the way through April 30th, Robinhood is even boosting every single dollar you transfer from other retirement accounts with a 3% match. That's right, no cap on the 3% match. Robinhood Gold gets you the most for your retirement thanks to IRA with their 3% match. This offer is good all the way through April 30th. So get started at robinhood.com/boost. Subscription fees apply, and now for some legal info. Investing involves risk, including loss. Limitations apply to IRAs and 401ks. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold for 1 year from the date of the first 3% match. Must keep Robinhood IRA for 5 years, and the 3% matching on transfers is subject to specific terms and conditions. Robinhood IRA available to U.S. customers in good standing. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, is a registered broker-dealer. NC State basketball just picked up a massive commitment on Thursday evening. Louisville transfer forward Brandon Huntley Hatfield has chosen to run with the Pack. Obviously, we clued in a lot of people on this earlier this week. He visited NC State over last weekend, the tail end of last weekend after our victory over Duke in the Elite Eight. Stayed in Raleigh until Tuesday. Did not take much longer after that to claim Raleigh as his new home. This is a massive pickup for NC State. This year, he was a 6'10" junior. He averaged 12.9 points, 8.4 rebounds, and an assist per game. This is big. Consider this as DJ Burns' replacement. Brandon Huntley Hatfield will slide into what you hope to be your most productive big, likely next year. Assuming that Mo Diarra and Ben Middlebrook stay here at NC State, you now have an extremely formidable front court.
Yeah, and I know that everybody likes to talk about Coach Keats playing too small. Well, Coach Keats isn't a guy who fits square pegs in the round holes. And if those are the pegs we got to work with, I'm just saying we could see some bigger lineups trotted out there, especially with the way that Mo Diarra has been putting the ball on the floor throughout this run and defending on a perimeter. I'm not saying that he needs to be at the 3 in some of these lineups, but Thurl Bailey did say that he was out there at the 3 a lot. I'm just saying, Coach Keith, you know what I mean? Digging that history bag just a little bit, just getting there. But no, seriously, Brandon Huntley Hatfield is a special and unique talent. He was good enough to show his talent on a team that never won 2 back-to-back ACC games.
Yeah,
that tells you something. If there's interest in you coming out of a program like that, my friends in Christ, I can tell you there's something there. And there's a whole lot of something here at Brandon Huntley Hatfield.
Not just interest, but the other schools in contention were UConn, Indiana, and Pitt. These are other big-name programs that were after the services of Huntley Hatfield here. So I mentioned that he will more than likely be DJ Burns' replacement next season. You'd be surprised how similar the two actually are. They both began their college careers at Tennessee before transferring to another school and then ending up at NC State. NC State knows this and took full advantage of this knowledge. While he was in Raleigh for his visit, DJ Burns was his host. You talk about playing the cards that you are dealt here. I did not mean cards as a pun either. That was completely ironic. This is a big deal. This is a really big deal for NC State. You could consider him one of the top guys in the transfer portal, and you're going to continue to see more names come out over the course of the next couple weeks. You're going to see NC State's roster continue to change as well. Other guys will declare their intent for next season. It could be the portal, could be staying. There's a lot that's still unknown, but this commitment from Brandon Huntley Hatfield is a direct product of this momentum. A massive win for Kevin Keats, and it's a massive win for additional momentum going into next season.
Yeah, and this is the first of many names. This will not be the last player we get out of the portal. We know that Coach Keats and company love getting very aggressive in the portal. We're going to see it. And with the NIL money that's been given in, Wolfpack Nation, y'all have showed out and showed y'all behind, okay? Melodies from heaven have rained down on this team, and not just melodies, but monies from Wolfpack Nation have rained down on both of these teams. And so, I'm not going to be surprised at all to see Coach Keats do even more good things in the portal, but this is a hell of a start.
NC State taking full advantage of their current position is exactly what you want to see at this point of the cycle. And Doing all of this while in the middle of a Final Four run is extremely impressive. I thought Brandon's visit pictures that came out on Thursday were very funny. Keats is in his custom ice cream shirt, taking the pictures. But I think that is a super flex to the highest degree. And that's exactly what you have to do. You want these recruits to come in and see the new hardware that you just earned. You want to see the buzz. You want them to feel the fan base rallying around your program right now. And so this commitment is a direct correlation to all the success that we have found over the course of the last 3 weeks. And like Kenton mentioned, he won't be the last one. We're certainly not done. Keats alluded to the rest of the country really paying attention to what we're doing right now. I'll say what he didn't say. He's getting a lot of kids reaching out to NC State saying, hey, coach, I see what y'all are doing. I'm interested. That's what that means. He's not going to say that directly. That's exactly what that means. And I know this because you heard very similar things from football.
Oh, yeah. I could be the next DJ Horn over there, leading the team in scoring, even though I'm a first-year transfer. Oh, yeah. I can be a DJ Burns over there, America's sweetheart, even though this is my third school. Oh, yeah. I can be a Ben Middlebrooks over there, a guy that brings a ton of energy and has an important role in this thing. I can be the Mo Diarra showing up in big moments. All of these guys that are having a lot of success for the Pack right now, a lot of them are transfers. I can be a Casey Morcell, a 3-and-D guy that just keeps getting better and better with each year. There's a role for everybody. I can be the Michael O'Connell, the floor general, the guy that distributes, the guy that gets it done in that way. I can be a Jaden Taylor, Simeone best player, and I'm going to sick him and I'm going to go with him everywhere he wants to go. Because Coach Keats shows that he doesn't have a preference for a transfer portal or homegrown per se. He wants the best 5 on the court.
NC State, make no mistake about it, the Wolfpack are what's hot on the block right now, and people are taking notice. They're taking notice in the media, recruiting, NIL, you name it. And so all of this momentum, we have to keep this rolling in a positive direction. Brandon Huntley Hatfield committing to NC State is simply just the tip of the iceberg, and we got more progress to go, but this is a big chip to fall first. Coming up next, we're going to close out our Friday show with a couple fan comments, not a full Fan Friday, but we have a lot to talk about to close this show and begin our Final Four weekend. Our second sponsor of the day is Gametime, and listen up, this is extremely relevant for NC State fans making the trip out to Phoenix. Gametime is the fastest way to get all of the tickets in sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. And if you're going to the Final Four, hear me when I tell you this, you need to get Gametime. Gametime has all the killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Gametime takes all of the guesswork out of buying tickets. Locked On feels so strongly about Gametime because we're telling you the truth. It is the most simple and easiest way to get tickets to all the biggest sporting events in town. And again, if you're traveling out to Arizona and you're still in the market for tickets because they get pricey, get on over to Gametime. They have last-minute deals and tickets right up to the start of the event, even an hour after it starts. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. We love our fans, and we are committed to ensuring you have an outstanding experience when you buy from Gametime. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, and again, create an account and use redeem code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE, Locked On College, for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Last couple of minutes here of our Friday show, and this is all about savoring the moment. Now, we are going to have a couple fan comments. It won't be an extensive Fan Friday because there has been so much to talk about. But I went through and I found 2 fan comments that are perfect to lead you in to Final Four weekend. The first one here comes from Chris Lindsay. It is a quote from Kevin Keats' introductory press conference. It is his closing remarks, and you'd be astonished how this sounds to you now. It reads, "No matter what they say about us, no matter what they think about us, understand that with time, hard work, commitment, and fan support, We will be champions again. I promise you that. Unquote. You talk about standing on business. He meant it when he said it, and it's true today. We are ACC champions, and we are gunning to be national champions. NC State basketball is back on the map. Believe that now. We are back in the spotlight. We have waited for decades. We all know the stories. This run reignited the belief in this program. It reignited the belief in this school. Kevin Keatts is leading that belief in this men's basketball program right now. He told us all we would return to prominence. We would be champions again. And here we are. We are 2 wins away from being national champions. NC State still has the pen. They're not done writing yet. We are witnesses to sports history, and this is going to continue on Saturday night.
The thing that I want to say that's so interesting about this is so many people keep going with this angle of, oh, NC State fans didn't even like Keatts 2 to 3 weeks ago. Well, it's crazy what happens when you fix the things that people are complaining about, huh? It's crazy what happens. It's like if you live in a home and you're like, oh my God, every time the drywall guy comes out, he leaves a mess wherever he repaired the drywall. And then the next time he comes out, there's no mess and he's faster than ever. All of a sudden, you may have a different feeling about the drywall guy. You know, that's what we're looking at here. And this is one of the greatest at 11:59 and 59 seconds. He came home type of moments, because you think to yourself how close the doomsday clock was for Keatts against Virginia. Doomsday, sending McNeely to the line. Doomsday clock is right there. 11:59 and 59 seconds was upon us. But before the clock struck midnight, he brought home that championship. He brought home that championship that was promised on March 19th. And, that's special ball right there.
Here they stand in front of the world to see. There are 4 teams left, and NC State is one of them. If this run and this team and this coach is not the epitome of NC State, you never give up. Jimmy V's words still ring 41 plus years later. You never give up. The season was in the hospital bed, and they were very nearly about to flatline. And they're in the Final Four, 2 wins away from a national championship. Story is not done. The work is not done. And that leads me directly into the next comment from at I'm here for it all. That is probably perfect for what this comment is. This came yesterday from Thurl Bailey. If you don't believe, you don't belong. They have believed for 3 weeks. They've pulled off a 9-game winning streak, and it's no time to stop believing now. They believed that they could pull off the impossible. They believed that no one could stand in their way. And through 9 games, they have been right 9 times. But if they want to hold the trophy at the end, you got to do it 11 times. Zach Edey is what literally stands at 7'4" in your way. And if you stop believing now, you will quickly find out that you do not belong.
Thurl Bailey was the interview of a lifetime for me. I don't care what heights I go to. I don't care, who I get to interview that were my childhood heroes. And I told a funny story about not knowing the full history of 83 and what Thurl Bailey and what that team meant. And yet, in talking with him, there were so many moments that just left me speechless. And this was one of them. NC State's been a favorite in these 9 games a total of 2 times. NC State's been less than a 5-point underdog a total of 3 times. I am telling you all, if you don't believe by now, turn this podcast off, turn the lights off, turn everything off in your house. Matter of fact, flip the whole breaker and just sit in darkness through this weekend. Because the rest of us that do, there's going to be a party. There's going to be a party like the world has never seen. Because you know why? We're ready now. We're motivated. We're angry. We're going to go ahead and win this. And there's a 7-4 freak of nature like the world has never seen before. that the Wolfpack are facing. Well, if only this David had a little bit of experience. And both of these teams, after they win, I'm not going to say if, after they win these next 2 days, here's your options for that one. The Alabama team that, they lost Saban, but this new coach in town, this Oates guy, he's plenty good too. Oh, man. Or you got the ultimate buzzsaw, the team that's won every single tournament game by, I believe, double digits, and they're a defending champion. On the women's side, you're going to have to see one of the 2 biggest stars in women's basketball history. You either got Paige Beckers, who y'all remember last time we played him, the camera couldn't get off her mama. I thought, well, damn, does anybody else on UConn or NC State have a mother? Paige is the only one with a mama. This is crazy. I ain't never seen so many motherless children in one game. Or the NCAA's all-time leading scorer. Scored more than Pistol Pete, scored more than Steph Curry, scored more than De'Asia Fair, who did spectacular things up at Syracuse. You're going to have to take on one of them. And you're once again going to be viewed as, you can't take them. You're not good enough. Destiny is good and all, but the analytics and the nerds say your bird is cooked and it should have been cooked rounds ago. Like I said, I want to see y'all at the Bell Tower Friday after that upset of South Carolina, and I want to see y'all back there double time after the upset of Purdue in Phoenix. Because these teams, it's time. It's time. Again, all these coincidences, the universe is rarely so lazy as to throw this many in your lap all at once.
Last couple sentiments here. I will leave you all with this. We have talked a lot about savoring this run, savoring the moment, soaking up every single minute of these crazy last 3 to 4 weeks. Don't stop now. We're coming into the final home stretch. It's the Final Four. We have hopefully 2 games left to play. This all could be over by Saturday night. Make sure that if you are going to Phoenix, if you're listening to this from Phoenix, look around, take the picture, buy the merch, talk to the other fans, savor every single last second of this, because this moment, we have died to be back in this position for 41 years. Understand where we all stand right now. Understand the situation at hand. Understand the moment and all of the emotion and years of frustration that have gotten us finally back to this point. If you're going to watch these games on Hillsborough Street, make sure you look around and you look at all the other people wearing red and cheering for the same team that you are. We are all on the same team, cheering as hard as we have ever cheered in our lifetimes. Embrace that moment. This ride, we don't want it to end. The bittersweet part of this is we can only play 2 more games. That's it. This is all they got. You got to lay it on the line for 2 more games. Don't let this weekend pass you by without soaking in all of this. And that's all I got for you to finish out this Friday. We all know what this weekend is. We all know what this weekend means to us. It's Final Four weekend. Women's against South Carolina. Men's against Purdue. Live show Saturday night. Win or loss after we play Purdue. Be sure to join us here on our YouTube channel. We're going to have a lot to talk about one way or another. Make sure you don't miss it. Be sure to hit that like button. Drop your comments in the comment box. Tell us anything and everything you have on your mind going into this weekend. And if you have not already, mash that subscribe button. We will see you all on the other side of this thing. We're going to see you Saturday night. We're hoping for some good news. We're hoping for another party on Saturday night. We will see you there. And until then, go Pack.
Go Pack.